Well, welcome everybody to my messy garage. So this is going to be the first modification that I'm going to make to the ZL1. Today I'm going to be replacing the intake. So I decided instead of going with Rotofab to go with Corsa. Kill me in the comments, I don't care, but that's what we're going to be doing today. So let's get started and take a look. All right, so here's everything that Corsa sent me. It did take a little bit longer than I expected, but Corsa are really good about it. I guess if it takes longer than 30 days, they automatically refund you money into your account. So that's always a plus. It was like 7%. But instruction, sticker, intake tube, carbon fiber, like really nice. I'm actually really impressed with that. All the mounting hardware and stuff, all the hoses, the heat shield, and then the cone filter. I got the dry one. Again, hate me in the comments, I don't care. But yeah, I went with the dry because it's easier for me to clean and maintain. So here we go. So initially with a video, I'm going to do two separate videos. I was going to do a before and after type video that went real short, just letting people know before and after. And then I'm going to do more of a comprehensive video with weights and a little bit of the install and stuff like that. But after trying to get some content from inside the car, the supercharger whine, you really can't hear it on the camera. So if you already have a ZL1, you know you can't really hear it that much from inside the cab. So I'm just doing one video, and it's going to be more of a comprehensive thing if you just want to see the end results and skip to the end of the video. So looking at the instruction, there's not anything that really jumps out to me, this being a difficult job. If you have any competency with a screwdriver, you're probably going to be able to get the job accomplished in your garage. It does say, you know, there's some warranty stuff that you go on their website to activate your warranty. They're colored instructions on their website. I might pull them up on the phone. It looks like for their difficulty level, it looks like they're one hand and wrench out of 5. And here's a list of all the tools that they say that you're going to need. The only thing that I'm really looking at, the trim removal tool, I don't have a metal handled one. I just have some plastic trim removal tools like for interior. So that's what I'm going to use for that. But yeah, I mean, flipping through this, it's not rocket science. So if you're worried about trying to do that in your garage, I think you'll be fine. But I'll have more to say after we're done. So I did purchase a scale specifically for the video. I wanted to show what the weight of the new system is compared to the old. So we're going to stack them up on the scale, weigh the new system, and then some movie magic. You'll get cut right to the stock air intake off of the car and on the scale. So here we go. So there we have everything from Corsa stacked up on the scale. Yeah, it includes the plastic bags. But we're looking at 4 pounds, 8 ounces. So take off an ounce for plastic bags if you're really counting ounces on your car. And here we have the stock intake weighing in at 6 pounds 11 ounces. So 2 pounds 3 ounces is what you save going with the Corsa. Okay, so here's step 1, but before step 1, it does say locate the vehicle battery and disconnect the negative battery cable. This may reset the computer and clear old airflow data to help prevent check engine light errors. So normally I don't disconnect the battery, but I'm making a video on this. So if a check engine light comes on, I need to show that. So here we go. We're going to pull the negative battery cable. So we're inside the trunk of the Camaro, and luckily the negative side and the one that you can actually see through the access panel. So we're going to pull that. It's going to suck. I think I'm going to reset all my stereo. I don't even know what I'm going to reset. So here we go. There it is, negative side of the battery off. Now we can actually start. Step 1, using a T20 Torx bit driver, remove the mass airflow sensor, MAF. So all 3 of the first steps are kind of all the same, all dealing with the MAF sensor. Remove the 2 Torx bits, remove the clip on the factory intake, and then actually unplug the MAF sensor from the wiring harness for reinstallation. So here, the MAF sensor right on top, I removed the 2 Torx bit, T20 screw. I'm going to pull that clip off, and then I'm going to remove it from the factory wiring harness. Okay, the factory clip, I just used a flat tip screwdriver to pry up on it a little bit. It's one of the metal clips that have little finger in it that hold it down on the plastic. So I just used a screwdriver to pry it up a little bit. And then the factory harness is the type where this red clip, you have to pull back on it first, which unlocks it, and then you push down on it to separate it. Next two steps is using an 8mm socket or a flathead, whatever. Remove the hose clamp for the throttle body, and then remove the breather tube off of here. Okay, this bit's for all the people like me out there. I hate messing up anything factory related. So this, it kind of looks, there's an indent on this side, and then this side, the gray sticks out. You only have to push in on the side that sticks out. You push in pretty hard, and then it'll pull right off of that breather tube. So with the instruction for this kit from Corsa, it said I go up to a 2021. Obviously the car are almost identical, and they sell it that it'll fit a 2023. But in the instruction, it said that there are going to be two clips or two factory wiring harness connection to remove. One sent the MAF sensor, which it's not connected to the airbox at all on the 2023. The other one, this little clip right here, it's a zip tie clip, which is going to be really hard not to break. I'm going to try. But in order to do this where I don't break it, I'm actually going to remove this in two sections. I'm going to remove the air lid and the intake tube. Look how flexible that is. The intake tube, I'm going to remove that off first, and then I'm going to try to get a tool down here and get this little clip off without breaking it. So wish me luck. So I got the air intake tube in the top of the box off. And yeah, it looks like previous model, there was a clip here. I know it's hard to see. There's a clip there, but it's not on this vehicle. And then I need to remove that clip, and then this should come out. Now I will say Chevy is notorious for their weird kind of metal clips, fastener, hold down to hold the top of the airbox down to the filter. This didn't have any of that. It's 5 relatively long screws around the box. You got to take them out with a Phillips, and then the top of the air cleaner will come off. I only have one little leaf in there. Nice. All right, so I'm going to work on getting that clip off. I'm going to try to use just some body panel tools from Harbor Freight. I bought them years ago. They were super cheap from Harbor Freight, and try to preserve that clip. Okay, I got that clip out. It's one of the plastic ones with all the ribs, so it's a little tore up, but it's not bad. And then I kind of forcefully pulled up on this. Now 2 of my rubber grommets did come out of the bodywork. Here's one of them right here. So I'm going to have to remove the rubber grommets off of here, like so, and then put them back into the car. These are used for reinstallation. So there we have it. It's all out. My rubber grommets are back in place. And right now with filming, I'm sitting at 25 minutes. So 25 minutes to take it all out. Now we're going to start the assembly and install of the Corsa. Okay, so it looks like step 1, attaching the filter adapter. Step 2, I'm putting the shield across the top of it. And step 3, removing, I'm guessing, the rubber bung and the whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, out of the old or the stock air intake system and installing it into the tube. Then screwing in the MAF sensor. I'm just going to go ahead and do all of those all in one step. Quick update, the rubber grommet and the tube to connect the breather hose, you don't reuse the one off of your stock intake. They actually provide it. Okay, got those steps done. This part was easy. This part has been the most pain in the rear end part of the job. I knew that one coming. If you've ever messed with these push-on kind of foam heat shield, or seals, rubber seals, they're a pain to say the least. And I got it sitting down really good all the way across, except for at this, I don't know, 80-degree bend right here. That's as far as I can get it to sit down. I'm going to mess with it a little bit more, but that part's done. Then the rubber grommet, you feed in the rubber grommet first and then push whatever into it. So put your rubber grommet in first. I decided to use a drop of blue Loctite because this is an aluminum machine surface and just, machine screw going into it. So I put a drop of blue Loctite on both sides for the MAF sensor. But word to the wise, it does sit up the way the sensor designed, so don't crank down on it too far. There's an air gap between this piece of metal and the aluminum right here. As you can see there, you'll end up bending the ears or doing something. So I just snugged them down pretty good with just a regular screwdriver. All right, the next step in putting on the silicone hoses and then putting it into the car. So here we go with that. Okay, there are two different size hose clamps. You have two of each, 4.25, so 4 1/4, and 4.375. If you go to the beginning where it's showing you the parts breakdown, none of those part numbers match up. So mine are 31221 are the larger ones, and 31821 are the smaller ones. The smaller one go on the throttle body, the larger one go on to the humped hose, or whatever you want to call it, the ribbed hose that connects to the actual flange for the air filter itself. So straight hose and smaller clamps go on the throttle body, ribbed hose and larger clamps go on the filter housing assembly, whatever you want to call it. Okay, there we have it all together. With the T-clamps, I didn't tighten anything or even snug anything. I'm going to fit it in the car and then snug the up. 7/16 is the socket that you want. So now it's ready to go in the car. Okay, so everything in. First off, let me just say that I bought this because I liked it. I liked the way it looked. Corsa, reputable company. But nothing ever perfect, especially when you're going modified cars and stuff like that. So I'm going to bring up just a couple things. I know there are going to be a couple people that roast me in the comments because you have nothing better to do. But a couple of things that I kind of didn't care for about this intake. So number one, I know that they're going to be slightly different on every car, but my AC line down here, it's hard to do then with only two hands, but this AC line right here, I'll put the light back on it. There's a divot in the bottom of the intake tube. Mine still hit. So when I first initially put this in, it wasn't sitting down in the grommets. It was sitting, I don't know, maybe a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch up from the grommets. And that's where I'm making contact. With the vibration of the engine and everything else, it would wear a hole in there. So what I did, I just put my hand down here and kind of flexed it and bent it just a little bit to get clearance. And now when I lift up on it and not making contact with the intake, I can fit maybe this portion of my finger in between them. So I think I'm good on clearance on that. But if you notice, so that zip tie connector that I took so much care in not messing with, or not messing it up, is sitting right down there. There's no spot on this intake system for that to go back into. Put the light up here. So look, the lines flex around everywhere. And I know that's hard to see because my garage is dark, but there's the pulley right there. Maybe now. There's the pulley, and this can flex around and hit the actual pulley, which I don't want to do. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is coming down in through here and zip tying that up out of the way. There's a connector connecting the two lines. But I'm going to zip tie that to the actual AC line, the metal AC line. That's the only way that I can see to kind of secure that and get it out of the way. So there are two things that I kind of didn't like about the system, but I mean, it looks awesome and I'm sure it's going to sound amazing. So I'm excited for it. Let's get the filter on. I'm going to zip tie that up out of the way and go from there. Okay, so the two things that I did just to get stuff out of the way. So the MAF sensor, it was routed underneath this vacuum line, whatever this line for. It was routed underneath it, but Corsa doesn't reuse the factory clip. So it was kind of just dangling there. It really didn't have a way of hitting that belt, but it could reach if it did sag enough. So I just routed it over top of this stuff, and now it can't sag down there and hit the belt. And then you can see down here, right there, I left the tail on the zip tie so you can see it. That's where I zip tied the line to, just to keep it back away from that belt, or that pulley and the belt right there. So now it has no way of hitting either one of them. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. We'll see if I have any issue. I shouldn't, but I'll keep, if I ever do have issue, I'll make another video on it. Okay, so there we have it. Total install with filming was 1 hour and 20 minutes. Take that, you know, I don't know how long it takes to film. I would guess, I really took my time. I guess about 1 hour install. But so far, it looks amazing. I know the garage is dark, the weather crummy outside, but I will get it out and get some good video of it running and everything else. So let's just cut to that. Who knows what day that'll be, but here we go. So it's a little better weather out right now, but there it is, all installed. The hood is a little bit harder to close. I have to push down on it a little bit more, and when you release the hood, it doesn't pop a little bit harder. I'm guessing that's here, but I have heard of people having clearance issue with right here on the Corsa, and then this rain diverter or water diverter for the heat extractor. Let me know in the comments if you've had issue with those too. By the time you watch that video, this might be off. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. It seems like the seal will seal it well enough against the hood right here, but we'll see. All right. Time for some revving up supercharger whine, and then that'll conclude the video. Now, just cruising along, not going very fast. RPM burn up, of course you're not going to hear it. I'm not building boost. You start getting into it a little bit, you hear the exhaust more than you do the supercharger. So getting a little bit higher RPM. There I can hear it inside the car. I couldn't really hear that before. Is it loud? No, but I can hear it. So I definitely like that. Now I will say this, I didn't expect this at all. Where I can hear the supercharger the most now is on rev matching downshift. So if I turn the rev match on instead of heeling and towing, when I start to downshift, it, you know, the car burps the throttle or jumps the RPM up, however you want to say that, and that's where I can hear the supercharger and the induction noise the most out of anywhere. So let's listen to that. All right, coming up to a traffic light, perfect time to show you what I'm talking about. I don't know if you can hear that, but inside the car you hear that initial RPM jump, you hear the supercharger spin up, and then you hear the induction noise, and then you hear the exhaust. So it's all kind of one after another, but that's where I noticed it the most, is on the rev matching downshifts. So besides sound, I really can't notice any differences. The initial throttle response might have changed a little bit. It felt a little peppier right when I initially applied the throttle, but I mean, that could just be the placebo effect, however you say that. So I don't know. You know, as far as seat of the pants feel, no difference. You can definitely hear it. I know my fuel economy is actually going to go down because now I can hear everything more, and I play with the throttle more because of it. So there you have it. I'll let you all know on a different video if you can tell inside the vehicle, but already I can tell a huge difference. You hear that induction noise. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm happy for it. Thanks for watching, subscribing, liking, commenting, everything else in the video down below. Yeah, appreciate it. Have a good one. Catch you on the next video.